Today I'm bringing you a recipe that's going to surprise you, and you're going to love it, or your friends will. I'm going to cook juicy meat with an ultra-simple recipe that will also give you a delicious sauce you're going to love. Look how easy it is. Grab a large bowl and pour in a splash of an oil you like. Add 1 or 2 tablespoons of mustard. And also, we're going to add flavor with a bit of aroma, thanks to rosemary, just a little to taste. We're also going to add freshly ground black pepper, which really enhances the flavors, just like salt, which is almost mandatory in this type of recipe. We're going to add garlic powder. You could also use crushed garlic cloves to make a kind of garlic paste, but use plenty, because it's going to give it a lot of punch, a lot of flavor. Paprika, either sweet or spicy, or a mix of both. That's up to your taste. And you mix it very well, so it becomes a kind of paste that you can use to spread on the meat. So let's get a good piece, in my case, a pork loin head. And we're going to spread it with this wonderful mixture. The important thing is to make sure it's spread all over and let it sit for a while to absorb the flavors, what they call marinating. You can do it the day before and let it absorb all night, or if not, leave it for 20 minutes, that's enough. Of course, the longer the better. Once you have it spread on all sides, all you have to do is wait. So make sure to spread it well. Let's see how I pick this up without dropping it. The thing is, if it seems strange to you that I'm using this utensil instead of spreading it with my hands, it's because this way I press harder and get the flavor to penetrate more. So if you have a spatula, use it, and if not, use a spoon with the concave side with the bottom part. Once you have it, set it aside. Then whenever you want, it's time to cook it. First, we're going to sear it, a generous drizzle of oil, in a good pan. One that's big and has a lid, because we're going to cook everything here. First, high heat, and let's heat up the oil. When it's hot, you see, we place the meat and cook it for 2 or 3 minutes on each side, because what I want is to sear it so it seals on the outside and all the juices stay inside. Fantastic and almost mandatory to keep the meat juicy. If you notice, I did it on the top, on the bottom, and now on the sides. It's important to sear it on all sides so it doesn't lose its juices when we cook it through. All right, let's stir the sauce a little and cook it on this side. And a few minutes later, I'm telling you, in 2 minutes, each side will be seared. On the other side, we already have all the edges seared. We cover it, add the last ingredient, and start cooking. Look, I had chicken, white wine about 100 milliliters or half a cup. Once it starts boiling, we lower the heat to medium or even a little less and cover it. As I said, we're going to cook it for about 55 to 60 minutes. But remember, from time to time, lift the lid and baste it with the sauce. It's that easy. No need to complicate things. And then you cover it again. There it is. I'll also tell you that it's a good idea to flip it halfway through cooking. So the second time you lift the lid, take the opportunity to flip it and also baste it. 2 for 1. That way you're more efficient, of course. A quick baste on top, cover it up, and keep going. It already looks great, and your kitchen is filled with aromas. At the end of those 50 to 60 minutes, you have a fantastic piece like this one you see here. How wonderful. Since I've taken the lid off the pan, I'll use these last 10 minutes to turn up the heat a bit and let the sauce reduce. See, this one is good now. It looks perfect. And also keep basting it every little while, just a little bit each time. Now we take out the meat, cut it however we want to enjoy it, and put it on the plate. I like to make nice, small medallions, thick ones, so I use a fork to keep it from moving. A nice sharp knife, and you can see it cuts like butter. Look, it's juicy and perfect too. Cooked but not dry, the perfect point to enjoy. I'm going to cut it all up and present it. That way you see it from start to finish without any mistakes, and it'll always turn out truly gourmet for you. Tray, pieces of meat. Come on, I have them right here. I'm going to place them one after another, and as you can see, the doneness of the meat is perfect. If you want it less done, cook it a little less. And if you want it more done, you can leave it for 5 or 10 more minutes, but I think it's perfect like this. Pour plenty of sauce over it, but save a little because there's always someone who wants an extra spoonful. And remember, look at the sauce. It's almost the best part. Look, 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 look. What an amazing spread, a perfect platter. All you have to do now is fill it with tasty things to go with it. Potatoes, bread, or why not, some little peppers like these. They're called piquillo peppers, and at least here, some are spicy and some aren't. Do you feel like it? Of course you do. Look at this sauce, it's amazing. And if you want to see what it looks like inside, check this out. We take a piece that cuts almost like butter. Butter. And then look how tender the meat is. My goodness, it's delicious.
Ooh.
One of the most tender and delicious meats you'll ever try. Give the recipe a try and then let me know in the comments how much you liked it. And if you're going to use the same meat as I did, I'm sure in your region you call it by a different name, because every cut has a different name depending on where you are.